Hola Alicia, welcome to Hablamos Spanglish.
Oh, so happy to be here. Gracias por tenerme aquí.
Oh my gosh, we were gonna do this episode online, and when I found out that you were gonna be here in Orlando, I saw the opportunity to have you here very close to me. So excited.
I love coming to Orlando. It's really fun. Yeah.
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 So for you guys to know, Alicia and I, met through a amazing friend last year, Karen Vergara, and she told me about this incredible organization that Alicia has, which is Family Bridges. And after that, we stay in touch, and we were invited by Alicia to participate on an amazing the Wise Up Girl retreat to inspire Latina immigrants. It was an incredible experience, Alicia, and I'm very blessed to have you in my life, and you are such an inspiration on everything you do. So I'm super excited to have you here for you to tell your story with all our listeners at Hablamos Spanglish.
So happy to be here and thankful for Karen to make that
I
connection. She's quite the connector.
Yes.
The Wise Up retreat was truly a mountaintop experience.
It was.
We were up in the mountains and it was amazing. I'm so grateful you were able to be a part of that, speak into the lives of the young women there. And just to think about how often when we were younger, we would have appreciated
Definitely
to walk with other women that have already been there, done that, and listen to their experiences, look up to them, just be able to have that moment. And not just wasn't like a 1 day or a 2 day, it was a whole week.
Yeah.
So it was a luxurious whole week, even for us just to rest as well. Because we tend to
I know.
go.
I told everybody because, we share our story on Instagram, and everybody was asking, Anna, where are you? What is this? I want to be part of this. And, it was, and I told them I went there to give, but I actually received more than I think I gave, right? So it was a beautiful experience. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that later on the episode. But first, I want to learn more about Alicia, her journey. Where are you from? Why were you born here? Did you migrate to the U.S.? So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually born in Santiago. So for any of us out there listening that are from the Dominican Republic, Santiago, Dominican Republic, I was born there and migrated here to the United States when I was 8, actually to South Florida.
Okay.
My parents are ministers working with different churches, and they were asked to just do some church planting here in Florida. And that's how we moved. That's how come we came out here. I am one of 6 girls.
Okay.
So big family.
Wow.
How much fun it was. And I always tell people, I think that's why I love doing family work as a clinical psychologist. I think I just like family and people and organizations and working with the different bodies and groups, because I think I was just so used to not only having my sisters be a part of growing up, but like the whole church community and just being out there. So I think that kind of rubbed. But since little, I've just always been curious about people. And I asked one of my sisters, I said, so what can I do that I could work with people? And she said, I think that those are psychologists. So I said, okay, that's what I want to be. I mean, I didn't know. I was 9 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, God opened different doors and I was able to pursue that career. I did my master's in counseling psychology in Florida. And then because of an advisor who just saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, just kept pushing and encouraging me to continue. And so she made the connections, and then that's what led me to even continue beyond.
So you mentioned that you came here when you were 8. So how or what did your family do to maintain your roots from the Dominican Republic? Because you speak both languages fluently, and you're still proud to be Dominican. So what did your parents or your family incorporated into your routines, your life, to keep those traditions alive?
That's such a good question. I don't know that I don't know that they thought about that conscientiously. I know they came at an older age, right?
Okay.
So probably just we spoke at home in Spanish.
Okay.
We ate a lot of habichuela con dulce during the holidays and arroz con leche and all these yummy foods. So food was a huge part of it, I think. But also, my dad used to travel a lot overseas, so my mom used to like to try different foods from different countries as well. But and then here coming to Florida, there was just people from different countries. There were some Dominicanos. We would travel from time to time back there, but I think because my parents were just from that a lot older when they came, that was just probably embedded as part of life.
Yeah.
A couple things that my mom always had, and my dad actually, it was a lot of visitors too. They would entertain. They were just had a lot of hospitality. So I always remember people coming over, whether it was from the Dominican Republic or actually different Latin American countries. But we would always have to kind of scoot away and leave room for leave our nice comfortable house, what do you call it, our rooms, to allow for other people.
And now you were very young, so you had your family and you doing all this Dominican food, the traditions, and keeping all that. And then you were going to school, and then learning about this new culture, the language, like everything, right? So did it get up to a point that it was hard to acculturate? Do you remember? Or did you ever feel like, am I American? Am I Dominican? So tell us a little about
So I remember when we came to the States, my sister and I, my youngest sister and I, we did not like the school system. So we would actually have a little song. A mí no me gusta la escuela de aquí. A mí me gusta la escuela de allá. We would sing this little song. Kind of miserable the whole experience. Well, my mom was an educator, so we probably had a really great situation happening for us down there. And then coming here and understanding language. I did understand math. That was the highlight of my day.
Okay.
Pretty much everything else went south. But, it was because I came so young.
Yeah.
I remembered that early on. And then one day just knowing English. I don't remember other than
The transition,
the transition. So, because you're a kid, you're just a sponge. You just pick it up.
Exactly.
But I don't think I ever enjoyed the school system here until I did my post. It's just there were a different set of values.
Yeah.
The system was set up differently. I remember being pulled away. Oh, you got to learn ESL and everybody else is staying. Just a lot of awkward moments in school that as you acculturate and you get used to it. And then, you become cultural breakers, right? In the sense for your parents, you're translating for them down the line or you're helping them until they can kind of navigate their way. Here in Florida, I think it was a little bit easier because we've got a lot more resources that are bilingual. But earlier on when we came, I don't remember having as many resources as there are now.
No, of course. And there weren't as many Hispanics as right now, right?
I will say, because we are 6 and I'm on number 5, there were some things like I think my oldest sisters did to kind of break into the culture. So by the time it was my turn, it was a little bit easier probably, or my younger sister, because they had been like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So, you mentioned that you went to then university here. So how was that experience? Did you like it? How did you decide to pursue that degree? Because, I for example, last night we were at book club that Alicia put together online, and she did an amazing presentation about learning about yourself and the different personality tests and behaviors and things like that. And I'm like, wow, Alicia not only brings that passion for helping people, but she has a lot of knowledge. So when did you learn that you wanted to pursue that career?
Yeah, so again, just seeing, I remember being young and being in a bus and just asking, why is that guy smoking? And my aunt would be like, oh my goodness, she asked this question in front of everybody. So I think I just had that natural curiosity. And with psychology, that's what it is, right? Understanding change, understanding motivation, understanding people. So I was fascinated by it. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that because of my faith background from a place that had those Judeo-Christian values. So when I had a chance in high school to have actually a full scholarship for an an associate's degree in a local community college, I just didn't want that. I actually wanted to do a private college. Okay. And I held out, and I actually said no to the one without knowing if I was going to be accepted to the other,
Wow.
but just had that conviction. And I grew up in the church, and I remember asking them to pray for this opportunity, and they did. And I don't know, not knowing anything, I kind of just let it go. And I remember a month later, after saying that rejection, getting a letter. Not only did I get accepted at that time to Trinity University in South Florida, but getting a full scholarship. So it was amazing. I was so excited about it. And I loved it because it was a smaller setting. So coming from a big public high school, 2,000 students or something like that. I don't remember. That was a long time ago here. But going to something with, 15, 20, 25 students a class was just an amazing, enriching experience. So I loved it. I just ate it up. I soaked it up. It was very diverse. And again, a faculty member just saw something in me, and she said, you should keep going. And at the time I was working at the university. So there was a lot of opportunities for me then to continue and get my master's degree there and then just keep it going. I just love learning.
Yeah.
And to this day, I don't, you don't know it all. Actually, you just figure out, I really don't know anything. I gotta keep learning. And there's a lot of discoveries nowadays with neuroscience that just provide a microscope and help us be more self-aware, and then we can relate to others. And it's been helpful to me in my own growth. So how can I then bring that to others and share that with others? So I say that I'm a psychologist that likes to go beyond your traditional practice setting. I like to just go beyond the walls and go where people are at and bring these learnings to people wherever that may be, whether it's Zoom or the mountaintop experience.
And when did you discover that purpose that you wanted to, be part of, the nonprofit world and serve others?
Yeah, I think it's a journey, like it is for all of us. I don't know that it was exactly one defining point, but more an accumulation of defining points. I mean, being in a clinical work, you're just hearing one painful story after another, and it becomes a fabric, a quilt in your heart, where you're just just that you carry that with you, and you can't shake that off when people invite you to such intimate spaces and they share so much vulnerability. That just becomes a part of who you are. As much boundaries as you put, people are sharing that sacredness with you, and you want to hold that. And stories like, a 16-year-old that comes with her newborn baby, and you're just wondering what happened, and her mom brings her to counseling because she's got nightmares and she can't sleep. She's having a really hard time. Well, what happened? Well, she ended up with a boyfriend that was very abusive. She ran away from home, crosses the state border, and then goes with him and his family. His family is physically abusive, not only to her, but the whole family is abusive to her. She ends up being confined into basically the bedroom. And, then she finds herself pregnant. And after she has her baby, she realizes, wait, I didn't grow up like this. This is wrong. So she figures out finally how to escape from that and calls her mom at the state border to pick her up, now with the baby in hand. So you go, okay, could this be prevented? I mean, it happens that in so many stories like that. But could we arm young women with what is a healthy attachment, what's an unhealthy attachment? These conversations often are missed at the dinner table. We don't have it as parents. We're busy doing things. We don't really think about these conversations. And then our girls that we wish for them to flourish are getting, are self-sabotaging by decisions that are not the best. Could we help them see what these, what all the research says about what healthy and toxic relationships are, and how to make good choices, what derails us from our dreams? So that a story after story after story, you start going, okay, we need to do something different. So yeah, Family Bridges was born out of this desire of being able to have upstream solutions for downstream problems.
Yeah, and something that I love about, the retreat was also like every day we had several topics, right? That they were about, physical health, mental health, or relationship, right? So, I was listening to them and I was like, wow, I wish, when I was young, I had this opportunity to learn about all these things. And because I was happy that you guys were doing that for these young ladies that were participating and touching base on all those important points, right, in life, because you don't know all the situations that they might be going through, and at least that they pick 2 or 3 things from
Yeah.
there and that will change their life is it means the world. So
Yeah, we're all in different places, but we're all very holistic. Our body, our mind, our heart, it's all integrated. So it's so important to have that holistic care. And when we go to school, we learn algebra and trigonometry, which is, yay. But what about finances, and what about our heart and taking care of that and understanding, again, the relationships? And our relationships are going to be a part of your whole life, whether it's at work, with your neighbor, or the spouse, or your family, what have you. So it's pretty important. It impacts so much. Yeah. So we just think that looking at that, but from a holistic stance, is really important. And if we can do that with young people or parents or adults, I'm all in.
And was it easy for you to make that decision, like, I'm going to do this?
It was progressively. Okay. So again, when I was in college, in the university, in the doctoral program, I was doing some research on marriages, Latino marriages in the United States, which was my dissertation. Okay. So because I was the Latino marriage dissertation, the school had an opportunity to go overseas and do some trainings with lay leaders in the community. Okay. So who did they tap? Oh, Alicia, they asked for marriage programs. Oh, great. And I'm all in.
Of course.
For them. I'm not going to say no. So as a student, we would create curriculums and just go to Nicaragua, Bolivia. We went all over. Just had a blast. Well, when I came back to the States and I was doing my final internship, which is for the doctoral program, I was 11 years of studying. So it was a lot. The last year you have to do an internship and you're matched in different locations. Okay. And it's like a residential area. So I was there. I was at the clinics, Meyer Clinics, which is a mental health clinic nationwide. And the president there said, there's churches here. You don't just have to go. Because I kept doing this work even beyond. And you could do it here. So I was like, oh, okay. So as I was doing the clinical work, I was doing these trainings in the community. And then I just fell in love with it. And just kept doing more and more and more. And I was like, I love being able to be where people are at naturally. And they are at the natural pinnacles of education, whether it's schools, your neighborhood, your church, your work. So I love bringing these principles that are like in research books that maybe only very smart researchers read, and then distilling them and bringing it in a very palpable way to people so that they can consume it and, use it.
Yeah. And Alicia, you are a woman of faith. So, and I see that you have incorporated that also in everything that you do and into Family Bridges and the program. So, how, was that a mission of yours? Like, I want to be, kind of like a missionary of this, so more women or more families that are here, most of them immigrants, can learn about this.
That's an interesting. I think you're the first person that says, "Are you going to be a missionary?" That I haven't been called up. Maybe. I love it. No, I think I grew up in a faith home, and then I lean on my faith heavily every day. It's just a natural part of who I am. So I think I just can't help but speak about it. Right? It's helpful for me. It's just how I orient and how I'm grounded. So I think I just naturally incorporate it as it makes sense. Now we receive all sorts of grants, the grants that are from the public sector, like we've received government grants, and we've not necessarily been speaking about religious topics in those kinds of grants. We honor the rules around that. The principles, they're truth principles, they're principles that stand the test of time. And so we just are more about let's love people where they're at. And honestly, that's what Jesus would do, right? So we just break down those walls that would impede people from being able to have access to that and make that pathway. So I don't know that that's necessarily something that we are out on a mission for. It's just more...
It's just part of
natural.
It's natural. Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about the programs that Family Bridges have?
So. Yeah. So lots of programs.
Yes.
So again, hey, so much trauma is around us, whether it's psychological, emotional, financial, and things can land on us that we didn't expect, like COVID. We all have that universal experience. So it's just bombarding the family, the individual at different rates, right? It's just like a big tornado, a hurricane. We're in Florida, beating down on the house. And so we want to be able to build the resilience and end the cycle of trauma that makes it difficult for people to move forward. Through innovative programs that empower, equip, and encourage. So that's our mission. And so what we do is we think it's important with the Latinos and the families, not just to think of me as an individual or even as a couple, but it's a whole enchilada. Like the whole family needs to be a part of the resources. So we think la abuelita needs it as much as the tia and everybody. So we have programs for the whole family.
Yeah.
So that's programs for whether it's the couple or the single mom or parents or children. How could we help them wherever they are at?
Yeah.
So we have programs for everyone. And so how do we then deliver all those programs? Well, I can't do it myself, right? I could see 40 clients a week and be really tired of it. But that's not enough. Just thinking here in Florida, how many Latinos are there? Or in the United States, ¿cuántos Latinos hay?
We are 20% of the population.
Yeah. And trauma is huge. I mean, across the board, pero nosotros hispanos tenemos un incidente bien alto. It's very, very high, the incidence of trauma. And so are there enough counselors that could reach all?
Exactly.
No. No vamos a dar abasto. There's just not enough. And anyways, now let's say you're going to go get counseling because you see there's pain, there's trauma, there's relationship chaos. What's going to keep you from going to a counselor? Pues stigma. No.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Latinos, like going to counseling and talking about mental health, that's a taboo, right?
That's a taboo. Or, pues, okay, now I got through it. I'm going to do it because the situation is so bad. Or the 10-year-old, the social worker calls. No le queda otra. Lo está mandando a consejería. A la mala o a la mala.
O lo hago,
and
lo
now
hago.
They're going to do it. But then it's like, oh, but do they speak Spanish?
Sí.
Or who's going to take care of the other kids? No, entonces es una lista grande de barreras, right?
Claro.
That makes it really hard to get there. So if you're able to do it, good, pero no es fácil. And so there's not enough counselors, unfortunately. So there needs to be more. So great. If you're interested, definitely pursue it. But one of the things that we thought is a lot of this that we're teaching, educators, passionate people who care and want to help, we can equip them as coaches and they can come alongside with others. So what we do is we've developed a suite of content and then we train others that want to help and accompany others to then be able to deliver it. Because oftentimes you can just be in a group with other parents and maybe you just need to hear another parent went through something difficult and they give you an idea and maybe that's all you need.
Yeah.
Now, if it's like, oh, it's depression, anxiety, okay, then you can go.
Exactly.
But you know what? It can turn into depression or anxiety or clinical problem if you don't have a place to go for help. So we've developed programs for the whole family. But then what we do is we equip champions, people who are passionate, who want to help others, whether they're in the church or a school, like a social worker or a parent coordinator. And then we bring these research-based resources and train them so that they can deliver that. So that allows us to be in more places and provide more services to more people.
That's beautiful, Alicia. I really admire, everything that you do. And I know you have big goals for the organization. So what would be that, if you were granted 3 wishes, what would they be?
Yes, please give me 3 wishes. La varita. I'd like to have a presence in at least 5 states that we have in the United States, that we have a huge Latino presence, right? Start with those 5. We're in a couple, but we need to be in more. And then, you can keep growing. We are overseas with affiliates, other organizations that we work with, and then they deliver the programs. And I think if we can do that, then we would be in the communities, right? We would be able to host more of those Wise Up retreats, have one in every, or have a representation for each one of those states, right? To be able to continue that. So not just a one-time experience, but continue to have those programs across the country. We are all about innovating, right? So we've done like the radios novela Que Gente Mi Gente. And before COVID, we had to kind of hold it for a little bit. So I'd like to get that going and continue in that content innovative space with multimedia projects, because we know that that's where people are at. They're in their radio, they're in the phone, and they're streaming, right? And story is a powerful way for people to change. Yeah. So I would really like to continue to, resurrect that and continue to build it and expand that content space in that area.
I love it. So if anyone is listening and can make those 3 wishes happen for Alicia, we're here. Alicia, so now we're getting to the end of the episode, but I want you to know that this is tu casa, and you're always welcome here. And, if there is anything that we can do to help spread out the word about Family Bridges and everything that you do, for me was a very transformational experience. I still, being a mentor and sharing my story at the Wise Up Girl retreat was really inspiring. And I told you that I kept in touch with most of the girls that attended, and they called me and like, Anna, I'm going through this situation. What can I do? Like, they still know that these mentors that you invited are there for them. So that's beautiful. And I highly suggest that everybody that is listening to, go online, search about Family Bridges. So what will be that, a call to action for people that are listening to us, either if they can be of service and help, or if they need the help that Family Bridges.
Yeah, definitely visit us at Lazos de Familia or familybridgesusa.org. We have information about all our programs. But just even thinking about the Wise Up program, that one experience was so enriching and so transformative. Imagine, we have the second leading cause of death right now for Latinas ages 10 to 34 is suicide. So we come to this country hopeful and encouraged that our girls will embark on a journey of growth and grab their dreams, and instead they're self-destructing. And that's just very sad. That's not what we want for our kids.
I know.
And so what could we do? Well, yeah, imagine if we had those programs all throughout the United States, if we raise a new generation of Latinas where women who have been first generations, who have succeeded or, are on the other side of the hardship, can speak words of life to the younger generation. So I would love that. So if you're interested in joining us on that effort, call us, reach out. That would be pretty amazing, because I think we'll then turn the tide.
Yeah. And also if you're going through a situation and you need that type of help, also reach out, find out what the programs are. And even though you guys are in Illinois, in Chicago, I know that you will find un huequito para ayudar a quien sea que nos esté escuchando.
Absolutely.
Alicia, bueno, ahora para culminar, we want to ask you a couple of questions that to tell us a little bit more about yourself. So just say the first name that comes to mind. Okay. First will be your favorite type of music.
My favorite type of music? Yes. I'm terrible at music, believe it or not. I'm kind of weirdo. Okay. But I do listen to classical music on my drive home because it's so quieting. And I would have never in my life thought it was my favorite kind of music, but there's something about it just quiets my spirit and just
your life. Yeah. Okay. Your favorite sport?
Oh, I'm a terrible sports person. But I grew up seeing my dad playing baseball, and my husband now plays soccer, and so I'm into soccer. But there's something very nostalgic whenever there's a baseball game. I just my heart goes to it, right? I just want to look at it. I don't even know that I enjoy it. I just
yeah, I used to watch it and I never understood baseball. I'm a soccer or football girl.
Oh, so, I learned the whole thing, how to throw the pitch. No. But I don't know how to do it, but I got whole lessons on how my arm needs to be held.
Oh my God, that's so funny. And what about favorite food?
favorite food. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you're from the Dominican Republic, you know what mango is, and if you're not, I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out. But that's my favorite food.
Is
So
there?
is there a Dominican restaurant here in Orlando?
I don't know. We have to ask Carolina from Hi Hello Labs to show us, right?
Yeah.
She needs to take us. And what the other question is about, is there a place in the US that you would like to go and travel that you haven't been?
You know, I don't think I've been to Montana.
Montana.
And I'm curious about it. It looks really beautiful.
Awesome.
Mountains,
Awesome.
hiking.
I know. We'll continue the tradition of mountain.
Yes. We need to find a ranch there. So if you have a ranch in Montana,
please, we want to go.
Yeah.
So, my last question will be, what is Alicia thankful for?
Oh, I'm grateful for my family. I have 2 kids. They're 10 and 14. Curious, full of life. Just, they keep me grounded and they keep me having fun and curious about learning. So I'm just so grateful to have them. My husband, Jose Arturo, which really facilitates the opportunity for us to do Family Bridges work because he's so supportive, so caring, all in. Just loves being a dad, and which you could tell our kids are just flourishing. So I think I'm really grateful for them. Of course, my extended family, my 5 strong sisters that every day just are so encouraging. My mom, who's just a prayer warrior, and I can go to her each time. So, and then just being able to do meaningful and purpose-driven work. It's really good.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Alicia, for being here, por acompañarnos en Hablamos Spanglish. I truly value your friendship, and we are set to doing great things together because us at Hablamos Spanglish at Paul, and I know I'm going to speak from Hi Hello here, but I know Carolina was able to support during the Wise Up retreat with their production to do some amazing videos for you guys so we can continue to tell the story about what you do. So very thankful for you and everything you do and your team, which is amazing. And I truly love your team because they're also change makers.
They are, and they work hard. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here and for Hello Labs. Absolutely. So grateful.
Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias, mi gente. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey of Hablamos Spanglish. It is a pleasure for me to explore the diverse stories and experiences within our vibrant Hispanic community. I hope that you have found inspiration, connection, and a deeper appreciation for our culture and heritage. Remember, our stories are what unite us and what make us stronger. Stay tuned for more captivating episodes in the future, and don't forget to follow us on social media and share your thoughts with us. Hasta pronto.